Hi, I'm Carter.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and this is the Stagey podcast.
Be sure to check us out on all of our social medias, which will be linked in the description of this episode.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode. So in today's episode, we are joined by the one and only.
Hi.
So Kellyanne is a Stagey YouTuber, and she also has a Stagey blog. Would you like to talk to us a bit more about that?
Okay, brilliant. So I have a blog that's called Stage Spotlight, and it's an opportunity where there's like musical reviews. I also interview lots of cast members and creatives from some of your favourite shows, and I'm based across the UK as well as the Southwest, as I'm from Cornwall. So yeah, it's a very fun time.
Yeah, you also have a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel. It was called Calicity, which is like my nickname, but I've changed it to my own name now. And I make a lot of like stagey content on there as well, and on TikTok. So that's where I'm spending most of my quarantine.
What made you want to start YouTube?
Okay, cool. It was mainly because I was on study leave. So after my GCSEs, I had a lot of time at home, and I wanted to keep active, and I've always watched a lot of YouTubers growing up, and I was thinking about what my main passions were, and I absolutely love theatre, so I thought I'd kind of combine the ideas, and I decided to create a YouTube channel because it kept me busy, but it also I got to share my interests with a lot of other people, because theatre especially, it's not like with my real life friends, like in real life, I don't really get to talk to them about it a lot because they're not interested, but it's quite nice to have like this online community where there's so many people that have the same interest as you. So I wanted to share that, and then especially with like Disney as well, I made a lot of Disney content, but I've kind of, over the years, I've kind of drawn my focus onto theatre content more. So that's kind of where it started, and then now we're here.
Yeah, I don't have many stagey friends, but me and Zoe have been messaging on Instagram for the longest time, and we've never actually met in person.
That's so lovely.
Yeah.
Like hopefully you can do like theatre trips in the future together.
I know, yeah.
Hopefully after lockdown and everything's over, we could like arrange something.
Yeah,
I know,
definitely.
yeah. It'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so the next question we've got for you. So we know from your YouTube channel that your favourite musical is in fact Heathers.
Yeah.
Do you want to just elaborate on why that is and what Heathers means to you?
Oh, okay. That's a really good question. A lot to me, because it came in a time of my life where it was exciting, because I'd just kind of gotten into theatre in the sense of I had new friends that were into theatre, and I was like supporting theatre performance. Oh, okay, I'll go like initially to support them, but also it was a new show that I hadn't really heard of. So I listened to some of the songs, and I went and saw the show, and it just resonated with me so much. And the message, I think, is just so strong. It was really fresh to like the West End theatre scene, and I think it was just a show that a lot of people can relate to no matter what age. And I think with that, there was also such a wonderful fan base and like cult following. I'd never really experienced this cult following with a show before. But I became so like immersed into the whole of the run from the West End, and it just brought so many amazing memories. The soundtrack was really good. I loved the soundtrack, and I loved the show. So it was really sad to see the show like end, but I also think that with the fan following and with the community, I think that the show's always like kept alive, and especially with the UK tour coming.
Yeah.
It's just to be a part of, so yeah.
I'm so
kind of went
You
from
think
there.
you'll be able to go and see the UK tour?
I have booked a few trips to the UK tour. Whether or not they'll go ahead is another question, but I caved in because I was trying my best not to book too many, but my finger slipped, and there are a few trips in the pipeline, fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, it's just recently been postponed to next year. It was meant to happen this year, wasn't it? And then it got postponed to next year. Right, this is quite I was laughing at the thought of asking you this question. So, what do you think about James Corden being cast in every single movie musical?
I think with James Corden, he has a huge audience, so I can see why directors and producers may pick James Corden firsthand. But then there is that argument of actually booking performers in shows at that current time. So it's very 50-50. I think when it comes to like James Corden, again, he's got a huge audience, so that will appeal to a lot of his fans because they'll want to watch it and support him. But then alternatively, there needs to be more opportunity for current cast members in West End shows to have their big break, if you will.
No, yeah.
And if anything, that promotes the show even more, and it might influence more audience members to go and see the shows in person. So, yeah. But it's quite a controversial one, isn't it?
Yeah, because he was in Into the Woods. He's now just recently been cast in The Prom, which is coming on to Netflix in December.
And I'm really excited for that film.
The Prom, yeah.
It does look good.
Because we haven't actually got The Prom in London yet, it's only been on Broadway.
Oh, I want it to come to London badly. Or just a UK tour, just bring it to the UK.
It definitely does need to get a West End transfer.
Oh yeah, certainly.
100%.
I want to see Beetlejuice.
You're currently in uni, so what is it that you're studying?
So it's quite a different route. I'm actually studying childhood education. I started last week. Yeah, because I've always wanted to I wanted to be a teacher as well, like on top of theatre journalism. But I kind of see theatre journalism as like a side job for me. I don't get any money for it or anything, but it's something that I love to do. But like with the industry and with the position that we're in, it's quite an unstable career to kind of stick by. So I want to still do it, but for financial reasons, I thought I would do like childcare and kind of go from there. So I've got that to fall back on. And then hopefully in the future, like I'd love to work in theatre PR so bad, or like social media marketing. So that's like the dream job. Oh no, I want to live my Hannah Montana life. I want a double life. Teacher by day, rock star by night, or West End stage performer or PR in the evening. That'd be great.
Working a double life.
Yeah, all I need is a wig and I'm good to go, supposedly. To Disney, that's how it goes.
So obviously obviously theatres have been closed, and whilst theatres have been closed, people have been releasing bootlegs. And what do you think about that?
Oh, it's really tricky because it's such a taboo situation. Like when you say bootleg, it's almost like people go, oh, well, it's like, what do you say? But with bootlegs, I think primarily a lot of people rely on them because like it is that permanent reminder of a show or a run they might love. So I think a lot of people rely on bootlegs to kind of almost cope with that disappearance of a show. I think it's quite a good outlet to have, but it's very, again, there's always like the licensing rights, and there's that whole thing with like why it's not a good thing, which I can kind of see from a performance perspective, but when it comes to audience perspectives, yes, it can distract the performer, and I don't agree with filming. But I think if there were more pro shots available, I think that bootlegs won't happen. But especially like during this time of quarantine, I think they've helped a lot of people kind of escape for an hour or two, escape the current situation, and that's what theatre is about. So it is a good thing, but also it's that whole situation and topic of if bootlegs are allowed to begin with. So there's that, but I know that a lot of people have benefited during this time through watching bootlegs. So I think it's like a personal thing.
Yeah, like I really love the Heathers one. Have you seen the Heathers bootleg from the final show?
Oh, I tell you, it's really hard to watch because first of all, I was there, so it's weird, but I can hear myself screaming. Like there's little screams throughout the bootleg, and I'm like, that's me. So that's always one, but also it's that reminder that it ended. It's quite hard to watch through. It's been a great promotion for theatre because I don't think a lot of people, like when like they watch it and they're like, oh, is this theatre? And then they get into like the whole like community and the realm of the industry and stuff. But it's been a great like appeal and a great like promotion almost for the industry. And I'm glad that they're going to do more in the future. I think there's Aladdin coming soon, and I'm very excited for that. My sister and mum love Aladdin.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I watched Catherine Steele, by the way. Does anyone else? Cat Steele?
Yes.
She made a video on it, and apparently, like, people from, like, I think, I can't remember, what is it? Aladdin and Jasmine are going to be played by people from all different productions. It doesn't really make any sense to me. It's like there's going to be different clips and a different person's playing Aladdin in each clip or something like that. Like something really weird like that.
Yeah, when hate appears on any of your videos, like how do you deal with that personally?
I'm very lucky in the sense of I've kind of grown the mindset of, you know, like there's so many positives that have come with YouTube that when it comes to hate comments, they don't bother me anymore, like even a dislike. And I think with a lot of situations when it comes to like dislikes or meaningful comments, it's still engagement, and it works out great for me because it adds up with my engagement and my like viewing rates, and it kind of builds up with that engagement. So if anything, I'm really happy because it's that engagement, and it's like, wow, you've like taken the time to write a comment when you didn't have to, and like, oh wow, you've clicked the dislike button when you didn't have to. But with every video, you know, like I sort of shrug it off, and it just doesn't affect me anymore. And I think when it comes to any form of hate or like toxicness, if you respond to it, it's just going to add fuel to the fire, and eventually they'll get bored. So I completely blank it, I delete it, block them, and that's fine by me. And then I just live on with my life. But I'm very lucky to have grown that mindset now, because like if you asked me that question a few years ago, I wouldn't know, because I used to not take criticism very well, whereas now I'm sort of like, if it's not constructive, I'm not bothered, so I just like remove it. So that's kind of how I deal with it, and it's working fine for me. It still works fine for me. So yeah, I'm very lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
So like it's very so like sometimes I get sent messages and people are so kind, and they're like, you know, I love your videos and your content, keep it up, and that really makes my day. But then there's comments that are like, you're so Cornish, or like, you know, you shouldn't really be wearing a skirt, and I embrace that. So like in my next video I'll go as Cornish as possible, or like I'll wear a skirt and I'll purposely be like, look at my skirt, it's so pretty, or like I make it obvious that I wear, like, you know, I think it's great to embrace
just to make them annoyed.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
I love annoying people. So it is proven by Carrie Hope Fletcher that you don't have to go to drama school to be on the West End or Broadway. Is that true?
I personally agree with it, in the sense of, I think with a lot of career paths, there's not always one route to that goal anymore. I think like even when it comes to like theatre journalism, or like when it comes to like sport, for example, I think it's kind of like a lucky draw in the sense of maybe like who you know and your connections. But I also think like uni isn't the only route to go, drama school isn't the only route to go anymore. We're very lucky to be in a position where everything is more accessible, and like Harriet Watson and Lauren Byrne, like they've created an art school for people who might be nervous to go into drama auditions and go into drama school, and they've created like programs to kind of build up the experience for aspiring performers. And I think that's great, and especially like with this day and age, like there's so many routes for lots of different careers now that like it's inevitable, and there will be more career routes that you can future. So I do agree with it in some sense, but I also understand the frustration with people, because there are some people that have spent so much money and time to kind of get to other people's positions, where like Carrie, like she gets a lot of negativity in the sense of she never went to these drama schools, she never like maybe like spent that much money. Like I don't know personally, but like she kind of got, it's almost like a fast pass situation. But I think like especially now, like there's so many routes to go down that I think it's not just one way anymore, and I think it's a very good thing, and it's pretty cool. Like every journey is different, as cliche as that is.
Yeah, like personally for me, I feel like you just don't have to go. Like it is clearly proven because Carrie started off as a child actor. She's been in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Les Mis, Mary Poppins, and now she's going to be opening as the title role in an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, and she didn't go to drama school. Yeah. So to me, that's just like pretty inspirational. What are your thoughts on Carrie being the title role in Cinderella?
I am very excited. I have to say though, because with Andrew Lloyd Webber, I'm very like 50-50. Like there's some shows, like I'll either love his shows or there's just some shows that don't appeal to me as much. But I'm very excited for her to be a lead role because again, like she's achieved so much, and this is just another like amazing milestone that she's achieved. And like with the photos and with the songs that are coming out, it's really just like giving that drive and that adrenaline for the excitement. And I think that she's going to be a brilliant Cinderella. And I also kind of think like with her previous roles, I kind of mentioned this in previous videos, but like with her Wednesday Addams, that was almost the gateway for her to kind of be able to mould into any sort of character she needs to be. Like that was the chance for her to be like, this is what I can do. And from then she's had like Veronica, who's a very like angst, like, you know, like a quite provocative character at times. And I think that's kind of, that experience has also allowed her to kind of breach into this Cinderella that might not be the Cinderella that we all know. So it's very exciting. I'm so excited. I've got a ticket booked for my birthday and I cannot wait. Yeah. My birthday, hopefully if it goes ahead, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, like literally on the side of the theatre it's got opening in 2021 if we're allowed.
Yeah.
Such a coincidence that Oliver, her boyfriend, is literally in a theatre like round the corner.
I know, they could just meet up and walk home. It's great.
It'll be weird to see Oliver play a Disney villain.
Oh, I cannot tell you. I don't know what I'm more excited about because Oliver is like his big break. And I can't wait for him. And for him to debut in like a Disney West End show that's never been here before. It's just, what an achievement. Oh, it's going to be very good. I'm so excited.
It is going to be good.
Like, Oliver's just come out of Back to the Future as well.
Yeah. It'll be amazing. That was some great news to come out of COVID, to be honest, or like the lockdown. I was like, I can't wait to go back to the theatre now.
I remember finding out, I was so happy. You know, he released that video on Good Morning World, and I was like, I am so happy right now. You couldn't pick anyone better to play Hans. Like, I think about it now. Who's better that could play Hans?
He does. But like, I remember because I was sat in bed and my friend was like, Kelly, like, you need to get online now. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And then it was announced and we were just the rooftops. I was like, oh my gosh!
Like, they released it so late at night as well.
But and also when you refresh, members were being announced, we were like, oh my goodness, okay, this is a wild ride.
And especially now they've like put diversity in the roles because there is actually a black first cover Elsa, which I think is just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, that is
like,
really good.
There needs to be more diverse with
there really does. And I hope that like this encourages, especially with the movement that's been going on, I really hope this encourages more inclusiveness.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Like, and you know, there needs to be more diversity, you know, because like, say if you've got a character, like for example, when Carrie went into Veronica, people weren't very happy that she was Veronica because she wasn't as skinny as Barry Wilbert Weed. But there's no, in the character description of Veronica, it doesn't say she has to have thick skin. So why does someone skinny have to play her? And same with Elsa. It's really good that there's a black first cover for Elsa which is really good because there's no description in Elsa saying that Elsa has to be white. Mm-hmm. That's just how they happen to animate it when
it's amazing.
So another question we've got for you is, have you ever been in any amateur productions?
I have. have. So last year I was in a production called The Show Must Go On. So that's with the Nuki Stage Company. So they aren't too far from where I live, and it was a new like coming of age contemporary, and it's kind of about the whole like process from like audition to opening night, and it's how like not every route is the same, but there's like some complications, some things that go wrong, but ultimately the show goes on, and it's a huge hit, and it's set in New York. But I had the best time because I've always like wanted to kind of be on the other side of the curtain, like just once to see if I would enjoy it and what it's like behind the scenes. And I ended up loving it. So it's a really good week. It was almost a year ago in October now. So yeah, I like auditioned and they like, you've got a part, and I was like, oh my gosh, and then rehearsals, and then before I knew it, it was opening night, which was scary but really, really fun.
Yeah. So, as we know from your double show day video in Heathers, you got in the back of a police car. Do you want to do a little story time on that?
Oh God.
Basically, I went with my friends, and we were there for like obviously the 2 shows, and then we went to go to a hotel, and we booked a hotel that was a bit further away because it was more like it was cheaper. So we booked this hotel and got out of the tube station, and there was like a motorway. There was just a motorway. There was no like crossing, and it was pitch black. It was like, I think it was like 12:30, maybe like this underpass, and there was a lot going on down that underpass, and we were like, we can't walk down there. We're 2 young women. It's very like early in the morning, late at night, and there was a lot of activity that was really suspicious. So anyways, we were like, we saw these 2 police cars, and we approached a policewoman and we said our situation, and she was like, yeah, and we said we were a bit lost, and she said, oh, you go down this underpass. So we again explained the situation, and then she was like, wow, she was like, have you ever been in a police car? And I looked at my friend and I was like, no. And she was like, get in. And I said, this is a taxi. I was like, do you want any money? And she was like, nah, like we'll put our sirens on and we'll get you there. So that was happening in the police car.
I can imagine how awkward that must have been for you.
It was honestly the best time, and they were like, you know, these are all the gadgets we have, this is what we use this for. She's like, as you can see, we can see like their miles, they take it. And me and my friend were just like, whoa, like we have not had an experience like this, and I don't think we ever will. But it's one of those stories that I tell, and people are like, you've made that up, and I'm like, I promise you I have not. Like, this was like one of the best nights.
I love the double show day of Heather's vlog. It's one of my favourite vlogs on your channel. It's really funny. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's a really good vlog.
I'm hoping to make more.
Yeah, I literally rewatched that video last night, and I was just absolutely wetting myself when you mentioned about the police car. I was like, oh my god, what's she done now?
Thank you so much. That's so good. Again, it's like one of my favourite videos to watch myself, because it's so nice to look back on the day, and like again, like Heather's was just like the best time of my life, I think, and I think a lot of people have like noticed that. So it's nice to look back at like that time of my life as well. But yeah, it's quite a fun story. I gotta say.
You and Jodie both make me laugh. I watched Jodie as well. You both make me laugh. You're really funny.
Honestly.
Thank you. Yeah, like we met through Carrie actually. That's how we met, because I saw her at like the Carrie did a concert at Cadogan Hall, and that's how we met. And like the adventures we've been on.
Yeah. So have you got like any other like theatre-y story time type things that have happened to you, or?
Ooh, that's interesting. Is there anything like in particular you'd like to hear? I have some like stories from Heather's Gala night.
Okay, I'll hear
like,
them.
do you want to talk about them?
Well, yeah. So initially, because my mum loves Heather's as well, like we went and saw the show together. She is obsessed with it just as much as I am. And so there's Oliver Ormston, who's like Carrie's boyfriend. He was like doing Twitch streams where he would like play games. And I said, I booked for Heather's like this date, and he was like, you know what date that is, don't you? And I was like, well, no. He was like, that's Gala night. So I was so excited, because I've never been to a gala night, and to go to a gala night for my favourite show was just something else. But there was that, and then we went there, and my mum and I were just like walking around because there were so many different faces. There was like Karen from The Apprentice, there was some like other famous people. Lin-Manuel Miranda was there, and I was shocked. I was just shook, and he walked by me, and I was just like,
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I was watching your Heather's story, your best moments from Heather's, and yeah, really
I was. And it was one of those situations I was like, do I approach or not? But I didn't. I was like, I can't, because I wouldn't know what to say, and he's probably like really busy and having to go in. But I was just like, even seeing him, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's made my night. But anyways, we were walking by, and my mum said, I'll be right back. So I was like, okay. So she went up to this person, and she went, oh, hi, so-and-so. She's like, how are you? I haven't seen you in so long. And this lady was like, yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you? And she was like, oh, I've missed you. We must catch up soon. And this person was like, yeah, that would be great. And then my mum was like, bye, and then all this sort of stuff. And I was like, what did you just say to her? It was Arlene Phillips. And Mum's never met Arlene Phillips before. So I was like, okay, I think we need to go now. Because like, Arlene looked to her friend, she was like, I have no idea who this person is. And I thought we were going to be kicked out. So there was that.
Oh my god.
Like this at the Stagey concert, and myself, I was there with my friend. Sorry. I was there with my friend, and we were like taking some photos with like the posters and like the billboards and stuff. And we were taking a photo next to the poster that Matt Lucas was on, and he was like playing Mr. Thenardier or Sir Thenardier, and and he started walking over, and my friend was like, act normal, and I was like, but that's Matt Lucas. And he came up to us and he said, do you want a photo? And we all had like a photo together in front of Matt Lucas's poster with Matt Lucas, and I was like, you can't make this stuff up. It was so, I was kind of like, I was a bit starstruck, because I haven't really been like starstruck like that for quite a while, but for him to like say like, I'll have a photo with you, like it was a really cool experience, I have to say.
Who else has watched Matt Lucas on Bake Off?
Oh, I've heard some amazing things about that. I need to catch up on
You
it.
see the intro, he's pretending to be Boris Johnson. He's doing like, if you could bake in a tent, no, don't bake in a tent.
Honestly, it's just so funny.
Matt
I need to catch up on it. My mum and like sister were like, this is amazing. So I've got to watch it.
Matt Lucas, he's an absolute legend.
Oh, he really is.
I really want to see him do more. You know, I want to see him in more West End shows. That would be.
I think he'd be a great Edna Townblad.
Oh yeah. I think that'd be really funny.
Or Uncle Fester.
Yeah.
That would be a really good role.
That'd be quite interesting to see him as Uncle Fester.
Yeah, so like kind of on the subject of Matt Lucas and stuff, what's your opinion of stunt casting?
Oh, right, stunt casting. For me, like, I think if it works really well, like, I think it's good if it's done well, and if the person is picked appropriately. I think like some shows make it very obvious that it's to sell tickets, and I think sometimes that pays off. If you pardon the pun, sometimes it doesn't. But I definitely think like some of my favourite examples, like again like Matt Lucas as Thenardier, but also I also thought that Joe Sugg as Ogie, like there were so many raving reviews. And he just seemed so good, and like there was like his vlogs and his behind the scenes footage, and that brought a lot of people to the theatre, so I thought that was amazing. So I think like the stunt casting, especially like with the Lehman Stage concert as well, I think that worked too. I think if it's done well, it can soar, but I do think that if it's not done well, it can affect a show.
Yeah.
Waitress do a lot of stunt casting, don't they? Yeah. And don't even get me started on Ashley Roberts as Dawn.
I had the privilege of seeing her.
The privilege.
Yeah, I don't know if she was in it for long, but my friend went with me, and it went silent. We were in the second row because we got rush tickets, and she sung When She Sees Me, and there's like that beat and that little bit of silence before people clap. And my friend looked at me and he went, well, she was beat. So like he said a curse word. But everyone else heard it, so our whole row was like roaring. I had to like shrink into my seat, and then I was just there clapping to sort of go over the sound. But that was fun.
My god.
I think it worked really well with the Adams family. They had like Samantha Waymack, Les Dennis. They were perfect as Gomez and Morticia, thank you. Morticia. I think they were done really well. My mind went blank then.
And Samantha's actually reprising that role, isn't she?
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, so exciting.
She was amazing. So you guys have got to get there.
Oh, I am definitely going to the Adams Family tour. Don't even question me. Yeah, so many shows I want to see next year. I want to see everybody talking about Jamie on tour. I want to see everybody talking about Jamie London as well. I really love Leighton Williams. Like, Zoe, you've seen Leighton Williams as Jamie, haven't you? You've seen him twice because he was.
Yeah, I've seen him twice. He's absolutely brilliant.
I saw him in Hairspray on the UK tour quite a while back, and he was really good.
Yeah, and Leighton also started his career in Billy Elliot, which is one of my all-time favourite shows, and he's just one of my favourite Billies. He's absolutely brilliant.
We love Billy Elliot, don't we? Oh, have you heard of Billy Elliot? You know Billy Elliot, don't you? Billy Elliot the musical. Amazing.
Wow, ladies and gents. I'm not as knowledgeable with that show as I am with other shows, but I am going to put what this is.
I'm not really that knowledgeable, but I love the music and I love the story and I love the film and I love the kids in that show. I don't know, Zoe knows way too much about Billy Elliot. I know a little bit. I mainly love the show.
I could easily message you all 42 Billies that were in the West End, put it that way.
Do it, you need to do it.
Please.
You need to tell me about Billy Elliot. And tell me what songs I need to hear first.
Honestly, I could just give you a full biography.
Oh my gosh, that is admirable.
Yeah. Billy Elliot needs to come back. Like, it needs to come to the UK. Like, the pro shot is not enough. I want to see it live.
Yeah, like Elliot Hanna is just absolutely outstanding. He is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that needs to make a comeback. So then I can go and watch it.
Yeah, it's a really good show. Quick 5 questions for you.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Yeah, so just like little things.
I'm going to set a timer. Hold on a second. Stopwatch.
So, plays on musicals.
Oh, I haven't started my stopwatch yet, Zoe. Right.
West End Broadway.
Wait, I haven't started my stopwatch. You're gonna have to start again. Right. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Plays on musicals.
Musicals.
West End or Broadway.
West End.
Favourite show.
Heathers.
Dream role.
Martha.
Favourite performer.
Charlotte Jackson, Carrie Hope Fletcher, Scott Page. Yeah.
Too many. All of them.
Too many.
Right, how did you do?
Did I do it?
Yeah.
26 seconds.
Oh, that was good. I think it was that last question that I kept like derailed. Rosalie Craig, I have a few more. Carrie Ellis.
Oh, I love your I love the thing that you did with Scott Page on TikTok. You know where you did the interview. Oh, I love that. It's funny.
Oh, I'm hoping that there are more people because I did one for Carrie as well, and it has nothing's come out of that, but it was so fun to make. But I think with Scott it was perfect because he can take a joke. So I was like, he'll either take this very seriously or he'll just it was a perfect response. I loved it. Hopefully I'll do more in the future.
Yeah, I've just celebrated my 1 year anniversary for my YouTube channel.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, so So yeah, that happened on the 17th, and I've hit 142 subscribers in that year, and I just couldn't be any more happier.
That is amazing. You guys have been like so successful, like with this podcast. It's been so fun. I loved it. Thank you so much. I've loved this, and hopefully we can all meet in person and go and see something. Or
Yeah,
like,
that'd be really good.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'd love that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
It's alright.
I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.